Okay, we're done with that.
What about the door at the court then? If you're doing all the other doors,
We can discuss this at a different time.
Yes.
or it should be in public, just saying.
If it's been approved, right?
It's
All
already
right.
been approved.
Police report.
Good evening. There's two items that I would like to bring up this evening. My written report was given to the board earlier. The two items I'd like to bring up are listed on the agenda for this evening. N8590 Stringers Bridge Road Junk Ordinance Enforcement Update. This has been going on since March of last year. We had another inspection on February 23rd at 2:00 p.m. Present was the landowner, Carla Giorgi, Darwin Schwenke, the county supervisor, Rick Stacy, town attorney Jim, the property owner, and John Stoss and myself. We did a walk through the property. There are still several discrepancies that have been noted. There's a new timeline where they should be corrected by March the 22nd, 2021. We're gonna have another walkthrough at 12 noon on that date. That's the update on there. Anybody have, do y'all have any questions about that? Okay. And the second item is I would like to bring up for consideration for the safety of the pedestrians on East Shore Road. I'd like to bring up consideration that we have crosswalks painted in front of Dockside so that people can walk safely from one side of the street in a marked crosswalk rather than walking in various areas across the roadway. And the other one outside the Lake Beulah Yacht Club, because in the summer during the weekdays, there's quite a few young people that are walking from one side of the road to the other for their sailing lessons and different items. And then also consideration for painting a crosswalk from Lindy's on the on the east side, the west side of the lot across the roadway so they can get down to that area. Now, I do know that there is a stop sign there so people can walk at the stop sign, which would maybe the board would say, well, we don't need one there, but I'm just bringing it up. I did talk with Greg. It'd be around $200 a crosswalk to do. And the various stakeholders for those areas, I have spoke with them over the last several months and they're in favor of having a crosswalk there.
All
Well, the lady, Lindy, over at Lindy, she really didn't commit to it, but she said it was a good idea, and I talked with her earlier in the summer. And then the yacht club, I talked with, I don't recall the name of the gentleman that I spoke with, whoever is the current commodore. I had spoke with him, and he would like that, and also at Dockside, I talked to John. Just 2 days ago, I talked to him again to make sure he was on board, and he said yes, he was. And we do know that in May, the speed bumps are gonna go out. Speed pumps are gonna go out, and also our speed limit is already at 15, so that should slow the traffic down.
And one more stop sign. I think the stop sign at the yacht club in the summer, correct?
Not when the speed bumps go up, one more stop sign goes in.
I don't remember that, but you have a better memory than I do on that, I'm sorry.
Okay, I mean, we went quite a few years ago without it, unless the guys have never come up before.
I think it's a great idea. I thought I called the stop sign, would the crosswalk, be arranged with the stop sign at the yacht club?
Well, of course we would, yes,
Okay.
yes, we would.
Okay.
And Greg and I, would walk it together, we'd work on it together jointly to get it completed. And we'd also get input again from the stakeholders at the Lake Beulah Yacht Club at Dockside and at Lindy's to see where they might suggest, and between all of us working together, we come up with the best position, the best legal position that it can be on the roadway.
Alright, I think we should have some public comments on that, because nobody discussed that one during public comments. Anybody that walks that area a lot, wanted to discuss it? John, first.
I walk it quite a bit, but I think you should really be taken up with Lindy's, at Lindy's there, because she knows where the most activity and traffic goes across there, which is best served. I have a question when we're done with this topic here, I'd like to ask the chief.
About this issue or different?
It's about policing, but I'll let you guys finish this and I'll come back.
Yes,
I don't know if you mentioned sign, I've seen at crosswalks where there's a sign, indicating that the pedestrian has a right of way, which would, alert the car to stop to allow the pedestrian to cross. I don't know if that's something to consider, otherwise cars might think they have the right of way if they see a pedestrian.
well, if there's a stop sign there, it's a stop sign, so.
Right.
Yeah, if there's a stop, I didn't know if they were gonna be correlated to each other. The walkway with the stop sign.
Yeah,
I'd like to do something similar to what happened at Booth Lake
gotcha.
on Town Line Road there. Yeah. Cause that worked out very well last year.
Scott?
Just a question on the stop signs, the temporary stop signs that I've noticed in the last year and a half that have been installed at the yacht club. Those seem to be, and it's great that they're there for the children that are crossing the road, but they're certainly not there on regulatory ordinances. It seems to be there, put there by the yacht club. Are you looking at doing a permanent stop sign in front of the yacht club? Because there's about a 30 or 40 foot gap between where the one's southbound would be versus the one that northbound would be. Are you looking at cross hatching 40 to 50 feet right there so they can cross with their boats? Are you looking at just a 6 foot crosswalk, or, and is this a permanent stop sign, or is this just for their convenience when they have their young children crossing the road? Just as a cursory, this is the first I've seen this. Honestly, we already reduced it to 15 miles an hour. We have a three-way stop sign at Beach and East Shore. Most of the people that are gonna cross
And speed humps coming.
are not gonna pay attention to white lines crossing the road. I would think that with all of the safety procedures in place, it might not be worthy of $600 to $800 to $1,000 of white crossing. I'm sure you can do it for much cheaper than what the chief had just suggested as well. But is it really going to suit the purpose that we will need? It's just a simple question that I have.
Yeah,
So I guess it's circling back, the first question,
Yeah.
are the stop signs going to be permanent in front of the yacht club? Or are they gonna be seasonal or only when, because right now they're put on just tire stands. And then the wind knocks them down, or they knock them down when their children are not present. So as we travel this road all the time, we don't know whether the stop sign is active, if it's not active, there's no one present, do we have to stop? It's not a regulatory sign, it's not at regulated heights. So, of course, we all stop, but the question is it legal, and is it something we always have to abide by when no one is present?
We did it as seasonal last year to see how it worked. Jim, I don't think we ever did a ordinance with that particular one. Because that was an added stop sign at the request of people in the area, so we actually did it. So if the question becomes, is it permanent? No, it won't be permanent, because it makes no sense to have it in the winter, right?
I would agree.
And then also, like Scott was saying, the crosswalk in front of the yacht club, okay? Would it be pretty much from the bridge, their whole property, pretty much? Because otherwise, how are they gonna get their 70 boats across of the road and 100 and something people at some days? You know what I mean? They'd have to have the whole road crosshatched. Otherwise, you know what I mean? I mean, that's a lot of paint, if you said, let's try 50,
Yeah, and if
60
there's a stop
feet.
sign there, does the paint really help you any?
Is my question, that's my simple question.
All right, I don't think we're gonna do this here right now, but I'm gonna, go look at it some more, and Chief, you talk to Wendy, and, you said you talk to somebody?
I talked to her in the summer.
Oh, you talked to her, yeah, okay, yeah, we did talk to her. Okay. All right, anything else on the crosswalk?
I'm just wondering, do we need three? It seems like they would be very close proximity. Is there a possibility to reduce, to not have three, to consolidate one in the middle, or some of those kind of considerations? It seems like it would be quite close.
Well, the one at the beach has been there forever, the only one we had it was at the yacht club, that's only two.
So they're supposed to
Well, I
stop.
thought we
at
talked
the
about-
club, and then they go to the dockside
But
road.
on the agenda,
And then they go to
Yacht
Lindy's,
Club,
and then they stop.
Docksides, and Lindy's, right?
Oh, dockside is an additional one, I see.
Honestly, Joe, there's really not gonna be that much cost impact to do 3, 5, 7, 10,
Yeah, I know.
or 1.
Yeah,
It's a matter of do we need it or not.
all right, I'm gonna go take a look.
Well, and thinking of the drivers too, stopping 3 times in
Correct.
that small proximity.
All right, Chad?
Chad Wales, W2070 Buell Heights Road. It just keeps coming to mind, I know that there was quite a bit, when this was originally talked about, I know there was discussion with Town Line, and, you said that Greg had said, be careful, cause where do you stop? Where do you stop with all this stuff? Now East Shore over this direction, and this road down, I think Kilburn Mill Pond, you guys have been doing speed studies, or was that Bell School Road?
Those go.
Just for speed limits and stuff, and I'm all about safety, I know there's a lot of kids there, we go from the lake and get something to eat at dockside, I get all that. Or I think it's just something to keep in mind, I know that was a comment from Greg that you just, once you start, where do you stop here, and to keep it fair for everybody, and well, they got it, why can't we, and I'm not totally against it, I think that, 3 stop signs at the intersection, 1 at dockside, another one, are you putting just 1 at the yacht club, or are you putting 1 at the top of the hill before they come over, or, I don't know where the setting would be, but that's also a safety issue there, you can have a crosswalk, but where you put that crosswalk in comparison, I think it was by the, lift, wasn't it, last year?
Yeah,
The temporary one?
there was one before, it was pretty much their property line.
And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it was down, and I frequent the road, I have some friends, I have family over there too, and, I admit, I'm not used to it, I've lived here my whole life, the temporary thing is, it kinda throws you off, it's just sometimes it was tipped over, sometimes it was up, it was like, oh my gosh, I totally just missed it, cause it's just not a normal thing, but just something to consider that,
Yeah, I think.
where do you stop with stuff,
What I'm gonna do is, the chief and I and Greg will take a look at that, and we'll revisit that. Yeah, there we go. The only difference that's really in here is the mention of the crosswalk at, at dockside. Because in effect, there already is a stop sign there in Lindy's, okay, and at the yacht club, we have, during the summer, we have the stop sign there, temporary for whatever they call it, we have a stop sign there. But I wanna, again, once you start painting these, you gotta paint them every year or two, it adds up. Will it help? I would say that it may help, it sure as heck won't hurt, I don't think, so we're gonna do that. So, okay, John, you have a general police question?
Yeah, general police question, should I address it to you or should I address it to the chief? All right, chief, it was brought to my attention by 3 people that come in and patronize at Lindy's that the officers that are patrolling, generally after midnight, have a tendency to pull up right behind you, like within inches of your bumper, and then back off and either pull you over or not pull you over. And it happened to 4 of our employees there that work at Lindy's, and it also happened to me. So I don't know what the town's or your policy is to guide your guys, but it's scaring the hell out of the people that are driving around late at night. So I don't know if you could address it or touch base on it, on what you can do.
I'll look into it.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, chief, anything else on your report? I think you're good. Actually, you just started. You did get your report, and we did go through the.
I have nothing more. Thank you.
All right, very good. Okay, East Troy Area Emergency Services District report, Barb.
The East Troy Area's Emergency Services District responded to a record number of EMS calls at 798 for 2020. That number is 85 calls above what they ran 2019. And the rescue squad at the rescue side is responding to about 70 calls a month. and that's just here in the early part of 2021. It is anticipated that if the department continues on at this pace, it will respond to a total of 840 calls in 2021, and this, again, would set another record number of calls for the department.
Okay. And was there any progress on the Alpine Valley getting their own?
Our meeting's in 10 days, and I will report back after that. I have not heard.
Okay. Anything on the park committee?
I received 2 positive compliments about the Jim Burns Memorial Park, today. The first from Crystal Wallendahl on Beulah Lane, who complimented the cleanliness of the park and how nice it was that there was a park with birdhouses and playground equipment for kids and others to use over here. Another compliment came from Brian on Hidden Oaks Drive, who complimented the DPW crew for plowing down the snow on the trails so that dog walkers and others could enjoy the park throughout the winter. He also complimented the cleanliness of the park and told me to give the DPW guys a pat on the back because it really allows for winter experiences. So that's my report.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I request permission to be excused. I've been here since 5:30 AM. I have to be back at 5:30 in the morning. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Chief.
Okay, Booth Lake Memorial Park report, Kim?
In February, we had the lottery for both the pavilion and the, canteen book club, and, it went very well, we had quite a large crowd. And we also, because we had a stellar year last year at the park, we were able to pay off the new garage we built up on top, we paid that off about 3 years ago.
Okay, so all's well.
Yep.
By the way, I didn't get a lot of compliments on that, you know, on how, the traffic control and speed reduction, whatever, at, you know, at the park. I think, John King did a really good job. Okay, Lake Beulah Management District report, Greg, anything?
The last district meeting was held on February 9th, the day after your last board meeting. The next scheduled meeting will occur May 4th. Since that time, the management district has been allowed by the judge to intervene in the lawsuit brought by the developer of the Lake Beulah Hotel against Walworth County. Will intervene on the side of Walworth County. The next scheduled event in that suit is April 7th, when the judge will schedule the activity of the case. There's an additional layer of protection that can be applied to the seven sensitive areas on the lake that occur along the shoreline. And we've started a dialogue with the DNR to further classify these areas as special natural resource interest areas, or another acronym that you can learn, ASNRI. This summer, we're going to begin monitoring the Lake Beulah bottom to determine if the Village of East Troy regular pumping at well number 7 impacts the natural spring flow into the lake. Several areas of the lake will be monitored based upon the recommendation of our hydrogeologist consultant that we employ. The weed transporter, the weed harvesting in the lake is done by a harvester, and to save time, when the harvester is full, a transporter barge meets it mid-lake, and they offload weeds either the transporter that then takes it back to the base and where it's trucked to, local farms that they sell the heats to as fertilizer. A grant has been submitted to the DNR for the rehabilitation of the weed transporter. We're salvaging the existing hull of that barge and, at a cost savings of $50,000. And, that's about it.
Thank you very much. All right, recycling committee report, John?
Well, the recycling grant to RU application is due the 1st of April. And we'll be working on that, Jim and myself. And the Town of East Troy recycling event is still scheduled for the 1st of May, Saturday. And various notifications will be up for that when the time comes.
That is for recycling?
Okay, the
Library?
library. This is minutes from the East Troy Lions Public Library of 9 February 2021. Programming report, first item. The summer reading program will continue to offer participation for children, teens, and adults. Director Gartman will meet with Vicki Mosteski. Don't know if I pronounced that right. Thank you. From East Troy Park and Recreation to solidify 3 outdoor summer programs. Second item, the library board approved Friends of East Troy Library funds to be used toward the Village of East Troy feasibility study for a new library. The village board declined that contribution and will use their own impact fees funds to cover the cost. Number 3, a library staff member will proceed to become a notary public, and upon completion of the course, the library will offer an additional site in the community for this service.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, planning commission report, Herb?
Okay, I have 3 items. The planning commission unanimously approved the certified survey map for W1535 South Shore Drive, PET 9000408 Beth Lanham, owner and applicant. This was the final step. Beth is dividing a single lot into 2. One side would be 5 acres with a house and garage, the other side 11 acres. And the planning commission approved this on March 3rd. So I make a motion that we accept the planning commission's, approval and for the town board to also approve this project.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the CSM at West 1535 South Shore Drive. Motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The second item is the planning commission, again, unanimously 7-0, approved the AT&T cell tower application at N9080 County Highway ES, PET 000008, a S&G Edgar Investments, owner, Mastech Network Solutions applicant. The application was to permit AT&T to do routine maintenance work on the existing tower. The footprint of the work is to remain the same, so there was no change, and the planning commission approved this, so I would like the town board to approve, the planning commission's, motion on this project.
Second and vote.
We have a motion and a second to approve that, AT&T cell tower application at class 2 co-location. Motion, all in favor, say aye.
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 Joe? John has another question.
They failed to mention that they went from 4G hardware on there to 5G hardware. Does everyone know what 5G hardware is capable of doing?
Do we keep it last two co-locations, we don't have a choice.
Okay,
What they're doing is changing the equipment on towers,
yeah, they're taking the 4G hardware off and putting 5G hardware on.
and that's similar to, what they were, selling the proposed tower, so, but actually, pretty much everybody is gonna be going to the fiber.
Well, in Europe, they pull those towers down with pickup trucks and chains, just to let you know that they're detrimental to humans, but whatever.
Yeah, and we had that discussion, and we also read the law on it.
Put a crosswalk in front of it.
It's out in the middle. This one seems to have the least amount of impact, because I do know that it has a limited number of, people that live in that house. It used to be
Besides the fact, you can't get back to the tower unless you go through the gate.
no, it used to be,
Well, I don't know how in-depth you guys are knowledgeable about 5G, but 5G is a short millimeter wavelength, which was developed in Israel by the Israeli army, which is banned for use in Israel. So they're using it here, but it's not the best choice. They have better technology that works better and is not harmful to humans or animals or plants. But I'll just drop it.
the third one, the planning commission unanimously approved a variance for a deck extension at N9455 East Shore Road, PA 2277000001. Matt Ryan, owner and applicant. He